That's right, Ricky. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain, coming to you this week from Namibia. Coming up. That's my line. It's cheaper than stalking stags in Scotland. It's cheaper than shooting pheasants in England. What is it, Ricky? Big game hunting in Namibia. First, it's Test Splat Special. Welcome to our weekly look at bangs and splashes. Now, we know fizzy drinks can do crazy things to our children. And this week's Test Splat Special is pure science, seeking to find out which of the three combinations of sugar and bubbles from the Coca-Cola company is least likely to make your child do this. We are, of course, in Namibia, and with the benefit of normal Oryx soft point ammunition, we can shoot cans of Coke, Coke Light, Sprite, and for science's sake, water to see which one is bubbliest and splashes the farthest. That's the one not to give your kids, right? So we are shaking the cans, putting them on a post exactly 22.8 centimetres, no idea why we picked that number, from a large piece of white paper. Shoot each drink with a 30-06 round and see whether it splashes just the paper, splashes the ground around, or even splashes the camera 6 feet away. First up is full-fat Coca-Cola. It gets the shaking Stevens treatment. Our tame target shooter applies the finger to the trigger and there's brown sweet stuff all over the paper. But it goes no further than that. Next we go for Sprite. Also contains 35 grams of sugar. That's like having a cuppa with 7 teaspoons of sugar in it. Off goes the round. Don't forget, these bullets cost more than these drinks. And its splash goes beyond the paper and onto the ground around. Is it a winner? Finally, Coke Light, still called Diet Coke in the UK, which uses the horrifyingly named NutraSweet instead of sugar. It might not have the jungle juice content of proper Coke, but we want to know what it's like as a launch vehicle. Does it deliver all that cokey loveliness to your child quickly with its bubbles? Bang goes the cartridge, and yes, my goodness, it's a camera splatterer. Diet Coke passes the physical for fizziest of the three drinks. Now how about water? We're expecting this one to put a dampener on things, and oh dear, what a washout. It certainly does. So the message to mums is this: if you have to buy your child a fizzy drink, choose bright red Coca-Cola. It is the least fizzy of the three sodas we tested and will obviously therefore do your child less harm. Well done if you chose it. Nothing proved, nothing gained. Next week we send a big game hunter to the Large Hadron Collider to knock down a Higgs boson. Well, that's enough mucking around with fizzy drinks. It's time for the real deal. We're going big game hunting. There really is something special about hunting in Africa, and we are lucky enough to have been invited to join a group of Zeiss dealers on the trips of their lifetimes to Blaser's ranch in Namibia. They're being offered the chance to hunt Oryx trophies and, if they have the funds, red hartebeest, zebra, wildebeest and kudu are all on offer. As well as top, high transmission glassware perched on top of quality Blaser R8 rifles. We're also using normal Oryx soft point ammunition. Before the Spanish party get a chance to hunt, they need to prove themselves on the range. They have to show they are competent off sticks.
Creo que esto ya lo sabéis, que no poner el cañón, sino que hay que poner la delantera.
If you are considering a hunting safari to Africa, speed, confidence and stable shooting off sticks is crucial. The professional hunter is there to add extra stability. Afterwards, as a big treat, we head up to one of the highest points on the 24,000 hectare range for a sundowner. There's nothing quite like an African sunset with all its visual delights. It's a moment to relax and enjoy before an early start after those Oryx. We join Alejandro and his wife Patricia. They are both experienced hunters, and to add extra spice to the hunt, it's Alejandro's 38th birthday. Our first port of call is a rocky outcrop called a kopje. Just like in the Scottish Highlands, the guides find a vantage point and glass the surrounding area. We return to ground level and head off on foot. The tracker is on constant lookout for fresh droppings and tracks, literally following in the footsteps of our game. A half-an-hour walk brings us to another copy. There's a group of wildebeest below us. We get a glimpse and then we climb to a higher position to get a better view. They move off, but we are close behind. There is always a sense of purpose with these trackers, which gives confidence to a shooter in an unfamiliar environment. We get close, but not close enough. Wildlife crosses our path, but unfortunately not the variety we want. After 2.5 hours, we get a look at our first Oryx. She stays still enough for Patricia to get steady. And she drops her where she stands. There is immense relief and happiness. Patricia is the only woman in the group. Is it rare in Spain for women to hunt?
Bueno, cada vez más. La verdad que cada vez más mujeres acompañan a sus maridos y al final se aficionan ellas a la vez que ellos, pero la verdad que no es muy común, que es quizá un entorno más masculino que femenino.
Would you recommend it?
Sí. Es una experiencia maravillosa, te pone el corazón a mil, es emocionante y sí. Te sube la adrenalina. Lo recomiendo totalmente, sí.
It is certainly a moment to be cherished and recorded. The Zeiss scope, Blaser R8 rifle and Norma ammunition have all played their roles. For African hunting, Zeiss recommends a 50mm objective lens, giving flatter shooting while still performing in low light.
The 50, it's very interesting for Africa because you go out very early in the morning. So this morning we started like 6 o'clock, it was nearly dark. And when we were the first time saw an Oryx, it was 6:30, so it was still not really daylight. And therefore the 50 objective lens really gets you the extra 5 minutes. In Europe people use the 56, but here for Africa you use the 50, and it has a big advantage. You can mount the scope lower on the rifle because we have here not as much space.
Norma ammunition has a strong association with African game. With its 100+ calibers, there is something for all shapes and sizes. Jürgen Sandstrom from the company is hunting with us, and having spoken to the professional hunters here, they are all in agreement that big is best.
They are saying is that the bigger the better, because if you have a shot that is not properly positioned on the animal, the chance to get the animal and find it is better if you have a big caliber. So shoot as big caliber as you can handle. Of course, I mean if you have the recoil, that is the backside of a big caliber. But if you could handle the recoil, use a big gun.
All the Spanish hunters are using Blaser rifles. The innovative gun manufacturer has produced a system which allows you to shoot foxes in Felixstowe one day and elephant in Africa the next.
It's a very versatile rifle, and that's what we say, one rifle for around the world. Because of the interchangeability of the rifle, you can change the barrels, you can change the bolt head, which means changing caliber groups. You can go from a miniature caliber group up to a Magnum, so that equates to 222 Remington up to a 500 Jeffrey. So I can literally hunt in today 222 for fox hunting, tomorrow 9.3 by 62 for wild boar in Germany, and the day after that I can go to Africa and use a 500 Jeffrey.
While Alejandro and Patricia are out in one part of the 60,000-acre ranch, Zach and Raphael are out in another. It is their first day hunting and they are excited.
Muy buena sensación. Muy buena finca y pinta muy bien.
It is an early start, but this is the best time of day for hunting. Hunting guide Carl keeps his eyes peeled. He suddenly stops the engine and we are off into the bush. We make a wide circle before Carl decides we are out of luck. Maybe the wind is not being kind. Maybe the animals heard us coming, but they're off.
What happened was he was running. He already knew we were here, so he started running off. I tried maybe walking behind him, but the wind is bad as well. The wind is from behind us, so I just try and walk to the boat to see if we can find him. If he stopped, maybe. but this one got away.
Suddenly stopping the car because he has seen something indistinguishable to the ordinary human eye but blindingly obvious to the hunting guide's eye becomes a pattern for the morning. After a few of the attempts, the Spanish start to play games. We reach a copy with views across the thorny scrub. We spot Oryx, and they are close enough for a shot. The shot is good, but the animal runs.
Ha sido una sensación muy buena porque los hemos visto. Iban saliendo del sucio y el lance ha sido... Lo hemos fallado porque entre las piedras y el... ha sido un fallo.
I couldn't see anything, but we're just going down to go and make sure there's no blood. If there's blood, then because it's down in the valley, it's difficult to hear. So we're just going to do that quickly.
With frothy red blood on the ground, the shot is true, but this beast will need tracking. Time to let slip the Westphalian terrier, Bina. The only trouble is the trail. Our Oryx appears to have evaporated.
It's got darker and darker, which means it's somewhere else with the blood is coming, not lung tissue blood. We started walking. Yeah, and then after a while it stopped. We didn't find any drops anymore. And which is bad is with the long grass, usually it's difficult to see the drop. As soon as it starts getting a little, just a small drop or something, then it's difficult.
The thorns here are incredible, and Zach has shot his Oryx in one of the thorniest parts of the ranch. These aren't ordinary thorns, these are the stuff of horror movies. One of the thorns here is called Wait a Bit, another one has the local Latin name of Landrovia flatwheelia. They make tracking hard. Bina comes back with nothing. Less Westphalia terrier, more failure terrier.
As a guide, how do you feel about the situation where you've got a wounded animal and you can't find it? How do you personally feel about that?
Very bad, very bad. The animal was shot, the animal was wounded, we found blood. So next thing we have to do is find it.
Back to our hunting couple on the other side of the range, and we leave Patricia being congratulated in the traditional German way, while our birthday boy Alejandro heads off into the distance with guide Erefries. We only have half an hour before it gets too hot. The animals stop moving and we need to head back to the lodge for a cooling beer. In complete contrast to the marathon we've just survived, we spot another Oryx within 10 minutes. Alejandro doesn't mess about. He shoots and he is confident he has hit the large antelope hard. Still, as is the case with a lot of African game, our Oryx has managed to put some distance between us and it. The 300 caliber Norma Oryx round has probably killed the animal, but our guide needs to take his time to follow the tracks. He finds the Oryx 50 yards deeper into the bush. The shot is excellent. Our Spanish hunter has been shooting since he was a boy, so is it his first taste of Africa?
Sí, es mi primera vez en África y la verdad es que está siendo una experiencia inolvidable, porque es el sueño, creo, de cualquier cazador. Es lo que a cualquier cazador le gustaría hacer alguna vez por lo menos en su vida, y la verdad es que está siendo una experiencia inolvidable porque pensé que la caza aquí era más enlatada, vamos a decir, pero es caza pura y auténtica.
We are soon joined by Patricia and Stefan. It's another successful hunt, and what's more, the animal appears to be a gold medal.
It's a very old female. The two horns are approximately 95 centimeters, both very nicely big here. So that's most probably a gold medal for Alessandro, and as it is his birthday, so he just owned it. But it's a really nice one.
Incredible how we walked probably about 10 kilometers and then walked another sort of 500 meters and got one. That's the way it goes, I suppose.
Yeah, sometimes you just takes hours and sometimes only a couple of minutes. So yeah, you have to work until you get it.
Do you have to be quite fit to do African safaris?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, you have to climb up on the copies. You have to go through the bush. And like this morning, 2.5 hours. So when you start, it's about 12, 14 degrees, but now we are having round about 28. So it gets hot. You need to drink a lot and then just continue walking.
It may have taken a few more man-hours, but we are happy to report that Carl and guide Gabriel eventually find Zach's Oryx. They really don't like losing animals here. Now from the great beasts of the African grasslands to the other end of the scale, it's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Britain News. A shooting shop in the northeast of England was very surprised when Barclaycard turned it down for a credit card machine. Rob Walecki runs Emma Custom Rifles in Darlington. Barclaycard told him that selling guns and firearms is not something that Barclaycard support. We contacted Barclaycard, who climbed down a bit. A spokesman said, Barclaycard do occasionally place restrictions on the businesses we process transactions on behalf of, and the details of this case are currently being reviewed. We're now just a few weeks away from National Shooting Week 2012, which will take place between the 2nd and the 10th of June. During the week, shooting clubs and grounds across the UK are offering discounted lessons to all newcomers. Absolutely no experience is necessary, and lessons can cater for people of all ages. To take part in an event over the half term, simply visit nationalshootingweek.co.uk. Airguns could be banned in Scotland, according to Scottish Justice Secretary Kenny McCaskill. He's pledged to the parents of toddler Andrew Morton, who was murdered by an airgun shooter taking pot shots at passers-by from a window, that airguns would be banned. His campaign is backed by former Scottish Parliament member Tommy Sheridan, who is currently serving 3 years in jail for perjury. McCaskill, the Justice Secretary who released the Lockerbie bomber from jail, has to get his plans past the Scottish Government first. And finally, big bird news. While Charlie swans around Africa, perhaps he should watch out for this traffic problem filmed in Saudi Arabia. The ostrich was filmed running through busy lanes of traffic, bringing cars to a standstill and almost causing accidents in Saudi's southern town of Abba. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Britain News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Anything can happen in Africa. We were having dinner in here last night when somebody rang to say there's a leopard in their laundry.
Basically what has happened is that one of my employees told me yesterday they heard something last night. The dog started barking. They didn't think anything of it, but this morning when they got out they saw that in the washroom there was a small little grey daker killed by a certain predator which they thought was a lynx at that stage. So they thought they would try and sort of find out what it was. They've set a trap, and I've just got a call now to say that the lynx has turned into a young leopard, and now I just want to see the age of the leopard, and then we're going to try and release it back into the wild. It's a little bit dangerous, but let's just have a look and then see what happens. There's a young leopard. I'm just going to walk up. Looks like a female. Yeah, it's definitely a youngster. And that's a small one making that noise. Yes. Now you can imagine what a big one does. Nothing too serious, just a little leopard.
Do you often have this sort of thing in your back garden?
Often. So this is the first? No, this is the first one. We haven't been here
long. Wait. 2 weeks ago it was a porcupine, and today it's a leopard. Yes. Maybe in 3 days we'll have a baby elephant in a cage.
So how are we going to be fast enough to open the gate and then all run back to the car so that she doesn't attack us?
Charlie, that's your job.
This is my job. Very good.
Let's see what we can do here without getting hurt.
Got a rope there.
I've got a rope, yeah.
it a long one?
Yeah.
Not that long.
I think definitely one guy, I don't want anybody on the back of the vehicle.
Could we be all inside the vehicle?
One guy can go into the car, no problem.
Yeah.
But the other guy into the vehicle, into the house, because on the back is too dangerous.
Quite right too.
Um,
Pretty dangerous. I got the car.
Okay.
Sensible.
We tie that around. I will just put it on top.
What I want to do is that. Holy crap! That iron beam I want to put across here. Tie that rope, put it around that, and see if we can pull it like that.
It's a female.
Shush. You want to release you. Calm down, man.
The decision is made to move the leopard to a position where we can release her. Even knowing there's a lot of metalwork between me and her, every bone in my body is saying, keep away. But I need to lend a helping hand. We are confident that Mark knows what he's doing. He has been dealing with dangerous game all his professional life. Sensibly, we take cover in the house and leave the camera to capture the leopard's run for freedom. A few slippers are thrown as encouragement, and finally she's off. Once she's disappeared into the night, we're bold enough to venture out, but Mark decides to end the evening by giving me a heart attack.
It is coming! I didn't have to kill you. I was alright, I don't know what. I didn't panic, but you did. Well, I was benefit, I'm going to have to kill you. I hate you. I hate you more than anybody's ever hated anybody. It's terrible.
High size bag.
What a successful release.
Yes. That is the most frightening thing, when that cat comes straight at you.
So what you're telling me now is, as soon as the sun goes down, nobody's going out the house anymore.
No.
I may have got out on the gullible side of the bed this morning. Mark's farm manager shows us the washroom where he found the diker.
Start falling over and then I had to come and have a look. Found the diker in here.
Well, we have badgers in the back room, but we don't have diker with leopards on them.
No. Definitely a first for me also.
Good.
I just want to know about your shoes, Cully. If we can just zoom in on those shoes.
Are they leopard proof?
Those are definitely leopard proof shoes.
I'm quite fast in these ones.
Should be leopard skin.
The leopard skin is underneath his pants, but
You don't want to know.
A leopard's not really something you'd want around when there are children about. Happily, no one is hurt. This leopard gets to fight another day and will hopefully know now to keep her distance. Of course, Namibia is a country famous for hunting leopard. There is a great respect for them here. However, in certain quarters, farmers are keen to see them poisoned or shot to protect livestock. Mark and the Blaser Ranch carefully manage the animals that pass through their range. A leopard hunter has just arrived at the lodge and is going to pay handsomely for the chance of shooting one. But first, you have to get close enough.
So you've got a leopard hunter coming, haven't you, Mark?
Correct. He's arriving today.
And what have you got ready for him?
Well, we've pre-baited. Pre-baited means basically we have scouted around, checked for tracks of big male leopards and hung meat up into specific trees which we think he would like to climb up onto to eat the meat.
Because you've got a thing, haven't you? Farmers want all the leopards shot, but the Namibian government is very careful about which leopards can be shot. Is that right?
Correct. They've implemented very strict rules on leopard hunting, and there is a minimum size that a leopard has to be for him to be exported, as well as CITES has only issued 250 tags a year for leopard.
The hunting may be cheap, but the lodge is luxurious. Let's have a quick look around.
Safari lodges can be so comfortable you sometimes wonder who would really want to get all dusty and go hunting. Well, quite a few of us actually. The accommodation here at Blaser's Snay River Lodge is 5-star with stunning views, private pools, fabulous food and dancing, but only on special occasions. This exclusive destination prides itself on delivering great service, whether hunting hard or chilling hard.
We try and sell a 5-star service throughout. So obviously what you see here is not your normal hunting farm, not your normal hunting lodge. The food we serve, the people we have working here are of a certain level, and that's what we're trying to get at.
This is of course the top end. There are safaris to fit all budgets, and this is what we are keen to impress on you, the viewer. There are plenty of options for people from all over the globe to go to Africa for the African experience. For a traditional UK stalker, the costs are not prohibitive, especially when you consider what you can pay for our deer. In Africa, you can get so much more hunting for your money if you know what to ask for. Plus, you might get a suntan.
Not only in Namibia but in southern Africa, with the increasing number of game farms around, there's a surplus amount of animals. Not all trophy animals. Often females need to be shot, younger male animals need to be shot, and it's an ideal way for a beginner or somebody who's hunted everything to come out and just enjoy a shooting holiday, or a hunting holiday is the right word. He can come, he can shoot with us here in Namibia. You can shoot Oryx for €150. So you can shoot 10 Oryx for €1,500, where in Scotland or in Hungary you shoot one animal for that price, and in 3 days. Where here you come for the whole week, you're hunting every day, you're experiencing the hunt for not a lot of money.
For more information about Snay River Lodge in Namibia, go to www.blasersafaris.com. Now for our weekly roundup of what's hot on YouTube. It's Hunting YouTube, showing the best hunting, shooting and fishing videos that YouTube has to offer, and this week with an African slant. There are lots of where it all goes wrong videos on YouTube, but none so dramatic as lion hunting going wrong. Here's one of them, called Lion Attack Hunting Safari Africa, that's been watched more than 8 million times. You can't argue with numbers like that. There are nearly 1,000 Cape Buffalo hunts to look at on YouTube. This one shows a close call with a buff that's down, but gets up. Sometimes called the closest Cape Buffalo charge ever caught on film, this was filmed in Tanzania in 1990. African fishing is worth crossing continents for. Chris Bailey catches a 106-pound Nile perch on Lake Nasser in Egypt in this film. Tidla, locals pulled out a 500-pounder from Lake Victoria. One of the most prolific Africa hunting channels on YouTube is Africa Hunting. It has a variety of videos including shot placement on various big animals, bow hunting exploits, and this film about unusual quarry in Namibia that could be a late entrant to the Big Five. Elephant hunting films produce more hatred from antis on YouTube than any other hunting subject. Ignore the vitriol and watch this film of a superbly professional hunter at work. It takes 6 minutes to get there on the film, but it's an elephant hunt and a half. White men with rifles are not the only hunters in Africa, and this clip from the BBC shows San Bushmen engaged in what's called persistence hunting, literally running down their game. Must remember to try this at home with deer. 4 Seasons UK, the YouTube channel for the UK-based hunting agent of the same name, has films about hunting all sorts across Africa, from jackal on the ground to birds up above. When they go dove shooting in South Africa, the skies literally darken. Rhinos are leading the charge when it comes to being poached in Africa. With rhino horn now more expensive than gold, many countries are meeting fire with fire and shooting down poachers on sight. Ted Riley from Swaziland is a pioneer of this policy, and this film from 2004 profiles him and his single-minded approach to catching up wildlife in order to restock his farm. You can click on any of these films to watch them. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Now, we all know that there's no camouflage like Realtree camouflage, and this week Team Wild TV is hunting boar and deer in Germany. Click on the angry buck that's appeared in the sky up there and you can watch that film. Well, we're back next week.
Nessa kuvatske veke korove ako ka YouTube ai sida ke Twitter si Facebook si constant contacts ayang how to ka.
Got that? It's our usual stuff about constant contact, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. This has been Fieldsports Britain. Ricky?
Sidang Namibia pada kai se angam kai kan kan.
That's right. We love Namibia.